Hey guys, and welcome to Book Spice X. Today we are talking about The X-Files. This is a sci-fi TV show from the 90s. It follows two FBI agents, Mulder and Scully. The show ended with 9 seasons, 2 movies, and then a 10th season was released as a comic book series. Now, on January 24th, they're coming back in the form of The X-Files Revival, which is going to be a mini-series of 6 episodes on Fox.
The X-Files was born with the internet, so it was basically the first fandom ever. Most of the fandom terminology that we use nowadays was created because of the X-Files. So, Shipper are the episode that refers to Mulder and Scully romantic relationship. Mythology is the main extraterrestrial government conspiracy storyline. Standalone or Monster of the Week are the episode that refers to different paranormal situations that related to the mythology. Now, here's what you need to know if you're not a hardcore fan, but you still want to follow the revival. By the way, this is full of spoilers.
Season 1. Agent Mulder runs an FBI division called the X-Files, dedicated to the paranormal, which gained him a bad reputation on the Bureau. So, Agent Scully, who is a medical doctor, is assigned as Mulder's partner, hoping that her scientific background would help to debunk Mulder's work and shut down the X-Files. In this season, their first case together is about a group of teenagers that are being apparently abducted by aliens, and they are showing up dead. This hits close to home for Mulder because his own sister was abducted by aliens when they were both kids. We also get to know Mulder's first informant, Deep Throat. He is Mulder's biggest ally and a very loved character, but unfortunately he gets killed at the end of this season. This first year, we also get to meet a mutant named Tooms. He feeds with human liver, he has the ability of stretching itself, and he hibernates for 30 years and then wakes up to get his quota of bile. In this first season, we also discover an organism that lives in the ice of the Arctic that it's capable of taking living creatures as hosts and increasing their feeling of anger and paranoia, even turning them into killers. We also get to know a death row inmate who claims to have psychic abilities that could help Mulder in his investigation and could help Scully communicate to her recently deceased father. Finally, at the season finale, with the help of Deep Throat, Mulder and Scully discover secret government project which infects human subjects with extraterrestrial DNA. The reasons for this testing are yet to discover, and sadly is when Deep Throat gets killed.
In season 2, we meet Flukman, who is a human flatworm mutation resulting from radioactive waste. We also meet Dwayne Barry, a multiple abductee that kidnapped Scully and gave her to the aliens in exchange for himself. So Scully gets abducted and have several tests performed on her. The result of those experiments will be exposed later on. During this second year, the agents encounter a sort of freak show in a circus with weird characters like the Conundrum, the Alligator Man, and Lenny. By now, we know that we have aliens on Earth, and there is some kind of conspiracy plan to make a colonization of the planet, and the United States government knows about this plan. Also, we have two kind of aliens: the alien clones that are not hostile, and the shapeshifter that definitely are hostile. Especially the body hunter, and they have green blood, and that blood is toxic for humans. The villains in this season are getting in shape now. For example, Cigarette Smoking Man and Alex Krycek are clearly working against Mulder and Scully, even when cigarette smoking man worked with Mulder's father in the State Department a long time ago. In this season, cigarette smoking man sent Alex Krycek to kill Bill Mulder, and that's one of the reasons why we start thinking that both of them are working for the conspiracy.
Season 3. We meet two super peculiar characters. The first is Clyde Brockman. He has the ability of knowing how people are going to die. And when Scully asks him about how and when is she going to die, he says, "You don't," which is a bit of a cliffhanger right there. The other character is Jose Chung. He is the author of the sci-fi novel From Outer Space, and he gets Mulder and Scully involved in a series of events that explore the humorous side of the X-Files. Mulder has a new informant. He is known just like X, and it is clear now the existence of a group called the Syndicate. The Syndicate is working with the aliens, but for their own personal reasons, and therefore they have their own personal agenda as well. They actually murdered Scully's sister. They intend to murder Scully, and they made a mistake and murdered Scully's sister. The cigarette smoking man and Alex Krycek, they are both part of the Syndicate, as well as some new characters known as the well-manicured man and Strughold. Mulder's father was part of the Syndicate back in the day. This season we get to know a new alien form called the Black Oil. It is literally a black oil that can get into human beings, control them, and take them as hosts to move around and stuff. We also learned that the only way to kill the alien shapeshifters, these other race of aliens, is with a stiletto in the back of their head, which apparently Mulder's mother knew something about because she had a stiletto hidden in her house.
Season 4 is the best season for us. It's our favorite of the entire series because it's so emotionally charged that it blows our minds. In this season, X gets killed, so that's why Mulder has a new informant, Marita Covarrubias. And we know at this point that the Syndicate is working with the aliens, but actually, secretly, they're trying to develop an antidote to the colonization. And the Americans are doing this, and the Russians are doing this. But the Russians are way more advanced than the American in the develop of the vaccine. We have in this season a very grotesque episode because it follows a family that practicing breeding and generation after generation. When we knew this family, the last generation is so plagued of genetic defects that it's unbelievable. It's so creepy that we actually love it. Also, we have another funny episode that is about a guy that can change his entire body like a shapeshifter, and also it has a funny tale. In the mythology side, we have a very important episode about the main villain of the series, that is the cigarette smoking man. Thanks to this episode, we know that he was recruited to the U.S. Army and recruited again to the assassination of President Kennedy, and that now he's a very important part of the conspiracy to the colonization of Earth. Another thing that we know thanks to this episode is about the main consequence of the abduction of Scully in season 2, and there is a terminal brain cancer that is a very aggressive one.
Season 5. Marita Covarrubias gets infected with the black oil, which leaves Mulder again without an informant. In this season, we get to know the rebel aliens, which are the shapeshifter aliens, but they have mutilated their face so the black oil can't infect them, because they are actually against the colonization of Earth. So they shut their eyes, their nose, and their mouth so the black oil can get into them. On a lighter note, we get to know the Great Mutato, which is a Frankensteinish character rejected by society that Mulder and Scully helped out. There is another really funny episode about a vampire town that are trying to pose as normal people until one of them starts acting like a vampire, killing people, draining their blood, and the whole deal, which attracts undesired attention to the vampire town. Heading back to the mythology, we realize that as part of the experiments performed on Scully during her abduction, she is now barren. And at the end of the season, the X-Files got shut down. Fight the Future. In between seasons 5 and 6, they released the movie Fight the Future. The X-Files are still closed, but Mulder and Scully encounter an evolved form of the black oil and they get closer to the truth than ever. At the end of the movie, the X-Files got reopened.